Alright, welcome to the Gonzo Book. I am Jose. Shelly is still sleeping with Bentley, and I'm in my bathroom of the RV. What I'm going to do is show you guys what we do to keep the stink out. Okay? First couple of times we used the trailer, stink was coming out of the toilet. So, and we did a few things and decided that this is the best thing for us to do to avoid that. So what we did was, every time you go to the bathroom and you flush, you let it all go down, and you still, once you're done, fill up that bowl by tapping on the flush knob, the foot knob, and let the water fill up in the tank. It doesn't have to be much, but just a little bit. And that avoids the stink that's in your tank coming up from your tank inside your RV, because the water is going to block it. Okay? But then we said, well, sometimes that's not enough, because when we flush, the stink comes up. We just didn't like it. It was just too much for us. So what we did is, first and foremost, we use Liquify. And what that does is breaks down all the stuff that's in there, the toilet paper and all the waste, and so we don't have any problems flushing the RV. Okay? And at the end, when we leave, we always do a tank flush, because you don't know, you think you got everything out, you do a tank flush and you see everything else that was in there comes out. So you always do a tank flush before you leave. Unless you're going to maybe another campground, you don't always have to do that. But we're going straight home, so we don't want that stuff to ferment in there and cause stinkiness when we go on our next trip. So we always flush, but that's at the end. So the first thing we do is fill up a bowl. You flush, fill up your bowl with water, but that water prevents the stink from coming up. But what we like is, when we go number one or number two, it sits there for a while, okay, until you flush. So what we do is put a cap full of pine sol in there, all right, or a cap full of Fabuloso, and these are concentrated, 2 times concentrated, and you can get these bottles at any Dollar General, okay, or anywhere else. I'm not sure what the price is, but you got pine salt, and you don't have to use both of them at the same time. Like, I really like pine salt, because that's what my mom used to use, pine salt all the time. Fabuloso is a little newer, but it smells really good. This is the lavender. This thing smells great, and it's concentrated. We use a combination of both. This kills 99.9% of germs. It says it right there. 99 points. So pine salt to me is the winner. But Fabuloso smells better. But both smells pretty good. And we also use, let me get it out real quick, Liquify. So I want you to see what Liquify looks like. It doesn't look like this anymore. They changed the cover of it, but it still says Liquify, and it still has Matt's little toilet prime pooping position thingy on it. We love this thing, and it's orange, and it smells orange, but we don't think it's enough to wipe out the stink, okay? Because you only use a little bit. You use 1 ounce or 2 ounce, and it's just not enough for a whole, what we have, a 28-gallon tank. But it does work to break down everything. So we definitely still use it, and we love it. But what we do is we fill up that bowl, and there's water in there now. There's a whole bunch of water. So when you go to the bathroom, it dilutes the pee and covers up mostly the number 2 stuff that's in there. But when you use a cap full of the pine sol or a cap full of the Fabuloso, it masks that smell. Plus, when you're not going to the bathroom, once you leave the bathroom, you put a cat full in there. Once there's water in there, and then you leave. You're done. This thing, it still smells. It'll freshen up your bathroom, and sometimes it freshens up the inside of the RV a little bit. And the same thing for the pine sol. It smells good, so it always smells nice in here. Okay, but when you go to the bathroom, it dilutes everything. The water will dilute it, and the concentrated cleaners will dilute it, the smell, and mask the smell and cover the smell. And once you flush, it all goes in the tank. That is going to keep your tank smelling really good, because remember, it's just concentrated, and I'm only putting 1 capful every time we use it. Okay, 1 capful of that, or 1 capful of Fabuloso. Now, these are the 2 things we buy, but there's other things that you can definitely buy instead of this stuff. That's not the end-all products. So every time you flush, you're putting a capful of that stuff inside your tank. So it's almost virtually impossible for your tank to stink, okay? Because you got so much pine sol and Fabuloso in there. And like you said, every time you flush, you fill it up. You put a capful of one of those 2 in there, and you're good. And then when somebody else goes to the bathroom, they do the same thing. It takes 2 seconds. It takes 2 seconds. You flush, and it takes a few seconds to fill it back up, because you have to tap it to let the water out, but not let the water, the clean water, go in and fill up the tank. And don't press it too much where it goes into the tank. All right, so there's that sweet spot in there. And you put a cap. It takes 2 seconds. Take it out. 1 capful. Not even a capful. It could be a half a capful. And you pour it in there. And right now I can smell it. Right now I can smell the Fabuloso, and it smells good. And like I said, it keeps your bowl clean because you have that cleaner in there, and you're good. And that's how we do it. We had no problems with the stink. Okay, no problem whatsoever. So we think this works the best for us. We learned this way after the hard way, after that stink was coming up, and we're like, it's impossible for that stink to come up after you put the water in there a little bit. So we did that first, and it still wasn't working, because I think once you flush it in there, the stink that was in there was just coming out, and we were like, oh, that was bad. So we do this, no stink whatsoever, but it smells good in there. It didn't smell bad once, and we think this technique works really well. So I'm going to show you guys how we do it. So once you do your business, it shouldn't smell too bad because it's masked. The urine is diluted, and the water hopefully covers all the number 2. Sometimes it doesn't because you don't have enough water in there, but that's fine. But you already have pine sol and Fabuloso in there, okay? So when you get done, you flush, let it all go out. And once everything's out and you're satisfied, you don't need to clean anything, fill it up with water by just tapping on the foot level. And I let it fill up like that at least. So this is what I do. I either take my pine sol or my Fabuloso, cap full. Doesn't have to be a total cap full, it can be half. Drop it in there, and remember, it's just concentrated, so it's starting to smell already. So I have it. This is the way it's going to sit until somebody else comes in and wants to use it. It's covering up that seal so no stink can come up, and now you have the nice smell of pine sol or Fabuloso, whichever one you stuck in there, and it starts to smell nice in here. So the next person comes, he takes a dump, or number 1 or number 2. Hopefully the water that's in there and the Fabuloso or pine sol that's in there masks the smell. You're done, you flush. Now all that liquid that was in there and all the waste goes in. So all the Fabuloso or the Pine Sol that was in there goes in, and now your tank, it's filled up with Pine Sol and Fabuloso. So there's no sting. Like I said, we have not smelled anything after we start using this method. Okay, so right now you're not done. You gotta take a few seconds each time, but I think it's worth it. Fill it up. And then let's try the Fabuloso now. I only have a little bit left in there, but we were here for a week and it lasts the whole week. Get it at any Dollar General or maybe some other places. Cap full, drop it in. I recommend filling the cap. If you keep doing this, you're gonna put too much in it, and you're gonna find your Fabuloso and Pine Sol going emptying out too quickly. And that's it, and we leave it like that. We leave it like that until somebody else comes. So that is how we do it, and we love this method, and it's good. Now remember, you still got to do a tank flush to make sure it's totally clean. Yeah. So that is our technique on keeping the stink out. If you have any comments, comment down below. I think this is one of the easier methods. These things are not expensive, the Pine Sol and the Fabuloso. So that's all we have. So I hope you loved the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, The Gonzo Book. And as always, we'll see you on the other side.